Well, hello, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. This is Ilya Chapman here with Voyage Blue Travel, and I'm super excited that we have today Erlan Ruiz from AMA Waterways, long-term partner, helping me with the wonderful waterways of AMA Waterways. They go to many different places. So everybody is muted, and if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments and then we will answer them. But we're gonna just go a little bit back and forward. Of course, I have the experience being born and raised in the Netherlands and being last year on the cruise that I have. We're just going to talk about, but first see what AMA Waterways has to offer, and then we'll talk about the specific cruise that Brett and I will be hosting on April 16 next year. So yeah, Erlan, thank you for being here and take it away.
Thank you so much, Ilya. I appreciate you and the support you're giving us. And now you have that hands-on experience traveling with us last year. So you're officially part of the AMA family and excited that you're now going to be embarking on more opportunities with us here in the Tulip Times for 2025 there on that April 16th departure on the beautiful AMA Cherto. So again, Ilya, again, big support that you guys give us. So again, we wouldn't be where we're at today leading the way if it weren't for support from our partners like yourself. My name is Erlan Ruiz. Like Ilya mentioned, I am the business development manager with AMA Waterways. I've been now with the family for the past 7 years. In fact, coming up to my 7-year anniversary next month. I say I
Wow.
left the best for last, Ilya, after spending, almost about 30 years in the industry, 28 to be exact, more so on the ocean side of the business. So the transition from the ocean to the river has been quite refreshing and quite special here with AMA Waterways. And for those that haven't been on a river cruise before, Ilya, I feel this is a perfect optic experience as you see these beautiful ancient landscapes just come to life there on the banks of these rivers as we sail through on these beautiful AMA Waterways river yachts. That's what I call them. Rudy, the way he builds these vessels with great dedication, quality. And again, I call them the Mercedes-Benz of the rivers because of that, again, quality over quantity focus that we have here with AMA Waterways. But again, as you see on the screen here, oceans take you to countries, rivers take you through them. Again, you're floating on this river yacht, immersing in this culture, visiting a new destination every 1,500 yards. Quite magical of an experience, particularly here on the Rhine, as you see constant castles and citadels up on the hilltops. And here with AMA Waterways, we provide the luxury of more options for our guests and partners to really be part of that local life with their built-in tours. It'd be walking experiences, hiking, and the biking. Again, it's all about that immersive experience, being part of that local life, and we pride ourselves on doing just that for our clients and our partners. So as we go through the presentation, Ilya, of course, we want to talk about the hardware and the destinations, but the magic really starts with these individuals you see on the screen here. We're known as the heart of the river for good reason. There's great passion and authentic love for what we do with our programs and the building of our vessels and how we take great care of our guests on board the ship. Here on the screen, you'll see Rudy Schreiner. There with the dark glasses. He's known as the godfather for river cruising. He, in fact, led the North American sales effort for Viking and Avalon, Uniworld over 30 years ago. But that entrepreneur spirit in him said, I want to begin my own company, design my own ships. He's, in fact, a maritime architect by trade. So he is the design mastermind when it comes to building these amazing vessels through the rivers in Europe and across the other world. And also he's a pioneer, an icon in the industry. Again, without him, we wouldn't have, in fact, the river cruise industry where it is today because of the building of that initial mine and Danube Canal in the early 90s. So again, to allow that transit of these river ships from the North Sea over to the Black Sea, he was a big part of that innovation and growth in the region. And of course, can't forget Christine Karst, Radiant co-owner and wife. She is a big advocate in our growth with our partners. Again, we wouldn't be where we're at today without the likes of Ilya and Voyage Travel Blue here to lead the way moving forward together. And again, can't forget Gary Murphy, the Murphy family. They came all together back in the early 2000s to initially start the company's name as Amadeus. That switched over to AMA Waterways, not AMA, AMA, derived from the Latin word for love for the rivers. And that's what we do. Again, we bring a lot of love and care on board our ships. It starts from the ownership. It trickles to the onboard way of life for the teams on board and those that are working shoreside. And each of us plays a vital role. We all have a special part of the story at AMA Waterways. And our cruise managers do a great job for our guests on board a ship, being their personal concierge, going above and beyond, exceeding and not only exceeding, but anticipating guest needs on board. It's quite special what they do on board, and the great synergy in the different departments and how they come together to, again, go above and beyond for our guests and clients. Ilya, who did you have on board your last cruise as your cruise manager, and what did you think that they did for you that really set the experience apart from the other rest?
Oh, now you're asking me the name. Well, I know, what I like is that they meet you on already there before you on your pre-cruise as well. It's a very personal experience. It's very different, very, I would say tailor-made to everybody's needs. They know exactly what everybody needs and make sure everybody is having a wonderful time.
And I like the word you use, tailor-made, because that's exactly what it is, a personal concierge service from the beginning throughout and into the end. It's a family affair, and you get to feel it on board the ship. You come on board and you feel like they're coming on board to someone's home. And that's why we call the AMA home. It's an extension, these ships, of Rudy and Christine's home on board these ships. They get to travel with these guests and partners many times throughout the year. So again, the opportunity to travel with the ownership of the business is very, very much in play. But again, it's just that family affair that really resonates. And like you mentioned, these cruise managers, they do. For example, when we have our guests investing in our 7-night journeys, we always have enhanced features before and after as pre and post land experiences. For example, here on the upcoming group that Ilya has for Amsterdam, there's pre and post components for Amsterdam available for you. If you're doing the Upper Danube, Prague, or Budapest, and these cruise managers, they do welcome these guests after they exit the baggage claim area. Transfers from the airport over to the ship to the hotel is with them those 2 or 3 nights, and then transfers from the hotel over to the ship as well. And then for any then doing the post experience, they're also with them. So again, it's a hand-holding, tailor-made, personalized concierge experience that we provide here at AMA Waterways, and that has a strong value proposition in comparison to the others that are on the river as well. So again, as we look at the overview of our fleet, again, quality over quantity is a focus with us. We're not a jack of all trades. We're doing ocean, river, and expedition. We do what we do best now for the past 22 years, and that is mastering the river cruise experience. You'll see a big focus, of course, in our European operations, but we can't forget about the wonderful exotic destinations that we also journey to, which would be Southeast Asia for Vietnam and Cambodia, Egypt on the Nile, Zambezi Queen for that Chobe River basin area between Botswana and Namibia on the Zambezi Queen, and new for this winter. In fact, it was for spring of next year, now January of next year, Colombia. We're known as innovators in the industry, so innovating one continent at a time. Colombia on the Magdalena River is coming up next, now starting in the January timeframe of 2025. One also very important thing, Ilya, is that when we look at operators here, and how are they responsible when it comes to protecting the client's investment. We here are at AMA Waterways pride ourselves as doing that for our guests every day in and day out. The fact is that when we build the company back in the early 2000s, the ownership had a very responsible and pragmatic approach to the business model, that when they build their ships, they pay them off in cash. So there's no leverage debt on the operation, and I think that's very powerful nowadays, especially after we got away from the dark days of the pandemic, knowing that there's some really great operators here that are going a long way to protect these clients' investment on board our ships. So here's a beautiful optic that you see here. This is the AMA Prima, but it's a sister ship for the AMA Cerdo. These ships are 443 feet long, 30 feet wide. The max capacity on these long ships, 155 total guests with AMA Waterways. These are very comparable to the competition as well. The V brand, Avalon, Scenic, they have the same size hardware, but they sit at a higher occupancy type. So they're sitting at 180, 190 total guests. Again, we max out at 155. So when you have less capacity, we have more room to play with to offer larger staterooms, higher crew to guest ratio for optimal service on board. You have a fitness center, hair salon, spa area, specialty restaurants at no extra cost, and every single ship features a pool and a whirlpool that's heated, which is great, Ilya, for those Christmas market itineraries that are coming up as well. I've seen our guests coming out of their rooms with a terry cloth robe, taking a nice dip in that warm water. Now a different story getting out of the water to go back over to the room. But again, it just shows that, again, with the lower capacity, gives the opportunity for more value and amenities that clients can experience with AMA Waterways. Here on the screen is the Ama Magna. This is our wide capacity vessel. I call her the jewel of the crown, came into service in the summer of 19, and Times Magazine, in fact, voted her a top destination to visit on the river. Aside from the beautiful upper Danube and lower Danube that she navigates to, the ship itself was considered a top destination because of the uniqueness and the wider capacity that she brings to the table. She's also 443 feet long, but 72 feet wide, and only an increase of 20% more of capacity from 155 to 196 total guests. This, folks, I feel, aside from the beautiful AMA Churto that we have coming up for a group in the tulip time, this would be another opportunity, Ilya, that we can look at for another potential group, because I feel this is a perfect transition ship from the ocean to river business. For many years, those on the ocean have been hesitant to experience a river ship experience because of the size of rooms or lack of amenities. With the Ama Magna, no excuses. The average starting size room on her, 355 square feet, full-size balconies, 4 restaurants, 5 different bars. So again, a great opportunity for us to, again, dive deeper into that ocean cruise business and expand their horizons with us here on the rivers with AMA Waterways. Here again, the beautiful shots of the optics of our twin signature balcony rooms. You'll see this larger photo on the screen. These are the majority of the rooms that are featured on the AMA Churto, which is the group that Ilya has there for April 16th. The competitive set nowadays is building their rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows, which are nice, but when you open up those floor-to-ceiling windows to the outside element, the whole entire room itself would be susceptible to the hot or cold weather. Here with the AMA Waterways hardware balconies, you have the best of both worlds, a true sit-outside balcony on one side and a French balcony on the other. We also seen a big pickup on multi-generational families joining us. We're the only ships on the river that feature triples and quads and connecting rooms, and you'll see what they look like down in the bottom of the screen there as well. Again, you'll see here, again, luxury, touches here with the bathrooms and the rooms itself. Yes, luxury, but not a pretentious luxury, so there's no need for the penguin suit or the gowns. Very country club ambience on board the other vessel. Here you'll see the bath and shower combination that we feature in our suites. Again, beautiful staterooms and, of course, the accompanying bathrooms. Here, double vanities, high-end toiletries. But for the majority of our staterooms, again, 80%, in fact, the makeup is shower only. So for those that don't prefer the bath and shower combination, don't be afraid. The majority of them will be shower only. And again, with great features like the double vanities, high-end toiletries, the rain shower effect, and the handheld as well. Heavy investment, again, Ilya, it's a cuisine. You got to experience this firsthand. It's kind of tough when you have these beautiful masterpieces of plates brought over you by the waiter, but it's all those aromas are picking off. You definitely want to dive deep in there, and heavy investment when it comes to the cuisine investment with AMA Waterways. Again, everything market to table fresh with AMA. We're the first river cruise company to be part of the Chain de Rotezaires, which is a private culinary society, invitation only. You have to have the highest acumen when it comes to the quality and the presentation of the meals. And quite frankly, folks, the galleys on board these ships are very small, so there's not a lot of room for frozen provisions. So everything is market to table fresh. One of the great things that I feel we bring with the dining experience is that it also allows for an immersive experience with these meals as well. So again, you're going to get that definitely with the tours as you're visiting these cities ashore. But again, all the meals that are put together for you for lunch and dinner are regional meals for our guests to enjoy. So if you're in Germany, the Wienersnitzel with the premium wines from that region, or in Budapest, the beef goulash with the premium wines from that region come into play. Again, quality over quantity. The breads, the cookies, croissants made fresh every single morning by the other baker. So again, you're coming on board to someone's home, and that's in fact what it is with AMA Waterways. We take great care of you, and that's definitely very much in play with the dining experience. So to bring Ilya, again, the brand more inclusive when it comes to the alcoholic consumption. We have the premium wines, beer and champagne featured for the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But now we brought in a sip and sail cocktail hour, which is a 1-hour open bar every single evening before dinner from 6 to 7. Again, to bring the brand a lot more inclusive with the alcoholic consumption on board. Here are the multiple restaurants that are featured on our flagship, the Ama Magna. Again, look at the heavy furniture, the great decorations and colors, heavy influence from Christine Carson, the overall decoration of these vessels. And one thing that we've actually done prior pandemic is invest more in al fresco dining experiences. So of course, weather permitting, especially on the sun deck, as you navigate through, now we're having these large barbecue pits cooking lobster tails and the filet mignons. Waiters bringing over the champagne for you guys to really enjoy this beautiful scenery that you're seeing as you transit through. And also on the top left-hand corner, you'll see the al fresco dining. Those windows, in fact, do collapse down right up in this section here. So to, again, bring the brand a lot more inclusive when it comes to the al fresco, these are collapsible windows. So to come in there in the morning, you know, with a fresh breeze coming in, sunlight coming up, mimosa in hand, just a great way to get your day started there for the other tours. Ilya, for those that want to do a Cirque du Soleil experience, jumping off a springboard into a pool, it's not going to happen on the river ships. Again, it's all about that cultural exchange experience, bringing the local artisans from these destinations to perform for our guests in the main lounge area. Okay, so again, immersive experience is the consistent theme that we want our guests to immerse. Of course, this is very, 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 very important part of the overall experience that we offer our guests. And if our guests want to stay there till 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, taking down those great libations, our crew members there for the bar staff will be open and ready to take care of you. Shore excursions, Ilya, you all know that this is a great way to burn down on the calories as you navigate here with AMA Waterways. And here with us, we offer up to 6 complimentary excursions at each of the destinations we visit. They're offered in multifaceted opportunities. For example, you can do walking tours, you can do biking experiences. We're the first to bring the active experience on the bikes. And these are traditional pedaling bikes, folks, here to the other rivers, and also hiking up on the hilltops. The walking tours are offered in different modes. You have your gentle, regular, and very active. One great thing that I feel we bring with our tours of great value is the size of our groups max out between 15 to 20 guests per tour guide. And I've seen the competition walking through these cities with a group size of 50 to 60 total guests. And I feel that at that larger setting, Ilya, and you might agree with me here that if you have more of an intimate setting, you're able to build that one-on-one connection with these tour guides. So again, value proposition, lower capacity with our tour guides is something that sets us apart from the competition as well. Here's a shot of the beautiful pool area that's heated with the pop-up bar. Ilya, right now on the AMA Magna, we're featuring a pickleball court. So if we have an opportunity for some pickleballers in the future for our groups, again, now we know we have that great feature there. Again, the spa treatment, beautiful libraries, and again, the multiple restaurants for our guests to enjoy. So connectivity and accessibility, all the complimentary internet and Wi-Fi is built into the price points. We're big also on the sustainability of our programs. Again, we've done away from all the plastic bottles, the paper, that's all the way done away with as well. So we're the first, in fact, river cruise company to receive the Green Certification Award. And that was just brought in now for Amsterdam, where we have this designation and allows us to get into private docking area, better priority access areas into the city as well. So again, we're big on sustainability and making sure that you guys are staying connected with friends and family back at home, sharing this wonderful experience on board AMA Waterways. So Ilya, we covered again the family business. We've talked about the hardware. Now we're going to dive deep into where the rivers flow with AMA Waterways. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, we're not limited to just that main transit of the European rivers there from the North Sea to the Black Sea. Our experiences carry us through the rivers of France on the Seine, Paris, and Normandy, which I'm going to be embarking in that part of the world in July. Yeah, you might be saying, Ilya, why? That's the Summer Olympics. You're crazy, Herlin. What are you doing there? But again, we're gonna customize it and tailor make it so we can really immerse and enjoy that part of the world. This is the 80th anniversary of D-Day as well. So again, looking forward to the experience there and the beaches of Normandy. Our journeys continue down south on the Bordeaux. We also have the northern and southern Burgundy region for the Saône and the Rhone. Great for the wine cruise programs that we feature with AMA. Our journeys also down south in Portugal. We have 7-night journeys round trip out of Porto, where we have land experiences into Salamanca, Madrid, and Toledo as well. So much demand for that part of the world in Portugal that we are adding a 3rd vessel there for next year. Of course, Tulip Time experience that normally begins between March through May. And then you also have now this region not only limited for the springtime there, the round trip Amsterdam experiences for Netherlands and Belgium. This is in fact running all the way through the end of October. So this Tulip Time experience, well, again, of course, more for the spring. But again, that part of the world is amazing, beautiful. So we want to make sure that we're able to showcase that part of the world in the summer and the fall months as well. Our journeys continue on the upper Danube and the lower Danube. So the Wilshaven to Budapest, Budapest to Wilshaven experience was what I did. My first journey back 7 years ago on the upper Danube, very convenient and immersing in 5 countries in those 7 days. And of course, the Budapest into Gheorghe, Romania, there with the pre and post in Bucharest. So again, we've talked about the overview there for Europe, but again, the exotic destinations. Colombia is going to be a new itinerary starting in January of next year. There's going to be 2 ships, the Ama Melodia and the Ama Magdalena. Capacity on these vessels, 60 total guests, doing 7-night itineraries, one from Barranquilla down to El Banco, and one from Cartagena down to El Banco as well, with some pre and post components in Medellin and Panama City. Of course, Southeast Asia. This is a very special part of the world that I did experience firsthand back in 2018, Ilya. A long journey to get there, but a life-changing experience. We all know what happened here over 6 decades ago, but the culture there is so rich, not by the tangibles, just the love of life and family. They want to know about you as much as you want to know about them. So strongly encouraged for those that really want to get exotic to experience this beautiful part of the world in Southeast Asia. Africa safaris and wildlife on the Chobe River. This is a very unique program. It's 5 days, 4 nights on the river itself aboard the beautiful Zambezi Queen. The ship only holds 28 total guests, 14 suites. But the whole entire program itself is up to 20 nights when you incorporate this cruise for 5 nights and the land-based components for Kruger National Park, Johannesburg, Cape Town, South Africa, Kruger's Rovers Reels Victoria Falls experience. You have the Serengeti as well into Tanzania. So again, this is a very unique program that right now is seeing quick sellouts. In fact, we're opening up our 2027 itineraries for Africa very, very, very soon. And then, of course, can't forget the Nile. We are still navigating out there. Obviously, you know what's happening in that part of the world. We did have to make some changes on the Israel extension and for Jordan. But the current feedback we're getting from our guests traveling in this part of the world, they're feeling extremely safe, traveling in a bubble. So again, I encourage you guys to not shy away from experiencing this ancient landscape there for our Egypt itineraries aboard the Ama Dalia. In fact, we are bringing a second vessel for the Nile, the Ama Lilia. She's going to be coming into service in the springtime of next year as well. So again, we're excited, continue to push our programs there for the beautiful Nile River with the other temples. So Ali, I'm going to turn this one over to you because again, you're well versed on the names for these Netherlands cities. You had the recent experience as well on your last cruise with us in April of 2023. So I want to turn this over to you. Now you guide us through this upcoming wonderful itinerary that we're going to be embarking on the Amarturtle for April 16th.
Yeah, so for April 16, it will be me and my husband hosting as well. So we will be on board, and of course that will add on a little extra fun and local experience. One of the things that I realize is that people don't know, for example, what the chocolate sprinkles are for breakfast, and then they see me using the chocolate sprinkles with butter on my slice of bread, and then like, oh, that's how we use them. So yeah, it's always nice when you have a local with you on board, obviously. And I can pronounce all the names for you. So it starts in Amsterdam, and we definitely can do a extension in Amsterdam, like Erlan already said. And in Amsterdam, of course, already is beautiful. It's hard to get tickets for Anne Frank, but we are able to get it. We just did that for our clients. And then it will actually, there's some new ports for this particular year coming up, which is exciting. So it goes north from Amsterdam, and it goes to Kampen, and from there to Giethoorn, and then Bruinisse. That is a hard one. I say somebody who can pronounce it properly would get a bonus. And then there is we go to Belgium as well, and I think that's a nice combination, right? I mean, the Belgium beers, so it's not only tulips, we get to see the tulips for a part, but then Belgium has obviously its own delights. So yes, Amsterdam is very busy during tulip time, but we'll be able to navigate it, and depending on the size of the group, we can do a smaller canal tour. Ama Waterways does a canal tour as well. It's very well organized, and from here you can easily go to the Zaanse Schans, where all the windmills are. You can cycle as well. And actually, the Kinderdijk is out of Rotterdam, which is one of the biggest UNESCO sites with I don't even know. I think there's 12, 15, 18 windmills. My husband reminds me here. So there's 18 windmills there. So beautiful. The Keukenhof is obviously the most famous garden in the Netherlands, and we will be visiting that as well. I used to go there since I've been a little girl. My dad would take me every year, and I know the Keukenhof well, so I also know how to navigate sometimes. You know, a lot of people, it does sell out. It's open from mid-March till mid-May, and there is so much to see there. It's just gorgeous. Every year I go, I say, oh, I don't need any more pictures of tulips, and yet I come home with another 100 pictures. Kampen is a new site for AMA Waterways, which I think is nice because it's a little bit off the beaten path. And as you see here, the tulip fields, they are in the north there. And one of their excursions from Kampen is Giethoorn. And Giethoorn, it's the next, I would say, the Venice of the Netherlands. And it's amazing on how the people living there, how they maintain everything. And there's little canals, and there is boats, electric boats you can go through and just walk through it. It's a very unique little town. So I'm very excited that that has been added here as an excursion from Kampen. Oh, Erlan, try to pronounce this one. This is a good one, right?
Zierikzee.
Zierikzee. It's Zierikzee, and Zierikzee is the excursion out of Bruinisse, and it's in Zeeland. And this is also the opportunity where people get to see our Delta Works, which is in Zeeland, which really showcase how the Dutch are managing the oceans outside, of course, because there's a large part of the Netherlands which is below sea level, and there's an excursion going here. But the towns itself, Zierikzee and Bruinisse, are very wonderful to visit. As you can see, they're very medieval style, pretty much like the Belgium ports that tour will be visiting too. So this is Bruinisse, and you'll see in the Netherlands, there's a lot of different types of windmills, and they all have their own function. Some still make flour to bake bread, some are paint windmills, some really are there to keep the levels of the water still, control them so we don't have any floods. So it's interesting to see every region has their own. This one is a very unique one. Bruges, well, that's in Belgium. So out of Ghent, I think the Amasserto will be in Ghent, and then the excursion is to Bruges. And we say Brugge because it has, Brugge means bridge, and it has many bridges. And it's very colorful, medieval. It has 2 large squares. It's such a unique destination. And there's different tours we can do there also with a boat, an electric boat going through it. And Ghent is slightly smaller than Brugge, I would say, and still very picturesque as well. So you can even stay in Ghent. And I think they're making the chocolate there. There's a chocolate making workshop, which of course Belgium is known for all their good chocolate. Although I gotta say, the Dutch are very good too. I think there's 3 countries, the Belgium, the Dutch, and the Swiss are good with their chocolate. So we should do a competition maybe one day.
There you go.
But yeah, beautiful. Antwerp, well, you like Antwerp, Erland. What would you say about Antwerp?
Yeah, I mean, so much history in Antwerp. I recall in that March of 22 itinerary, I was able to do a bike ride in the early mornings of this historic city, and then just to see midday come around in this courtyard and just come to life with the locals and the cafes and restaurants. Such a friendly part of the world there in Antwerp. Again, just beautiful any time of the day, and the mornings, afternoon, and into the evening, and of course here with our guided tours, we allot you that that opportunity to really immerse into this ancient landscape. But look at those buildings. They're side to side with the beautiful lights. I mean, it's surreal. It's surreal, and you get to do this in person, folks. And this is quite a unique way to travel.
And you see also the gentleman there is doing some beer taste in Belgian beer. So I think one of the fun thing as well is having me and my husband on board. He loves the Belgian beers, and he will try the Belgian beers. And there are certain places, especially in Bruges, there is a cafe, which is, I think, the oldest cafe in Belgium. And they do a beer tasting. And the last beer, I think it's like 18%. 11% alcohol. So after the whole tasting, you do walk back a little.
You'll be very happy.
Very happy. Yes, it's a lot of fun. So yeah,
Well, Andrew,
Belgium is a fun place.
I'm very excited. I'm thinking maybe my wife and I would have to join you on this group, Elia, because again, your hands-on experience, I mean, your knowledge about the region, I'm sold. So again, we'll talk offline after this, okay?
Yeah, yeah, fun. Yeah, and Rotterdam is a beautiful city. It's more modern because during the Second World War, it was unfortunately bombed a lot of during the Second World War, a lot of the buildings. So they rebuilt it. And one of the excursions I think you have is the Hotel New York, where the immigration station is, where Holland American Line started when the first people were immigrating to Canada and the US. And that's one of the excursions that will be this year of next year coming. So I think it's a very interesting city to do and great shopping. I love Rotterdam for shopping. I really do. So, and from here you go to the Kinderdijk. And then you're back in Amsterdam. And of course, there's so much to do in Amsterdam, but having the group with us, I can obviously have some ideas for different restaurants. We did another excursion instead of the Keukenhof, which is so well visited. We went to Hortus Bolbadem this year, which is a tulip garden where they're specialized actually in heirloom tulip bulbs and very ancient tulip bulbs. So it's a very unique off the beaten path experience as well that I can bring to the table. And of course, we will help with all the arrangements together with AMA Waterways, because they also can help with the flights as well. And like I said, the pre and post package. Not on this particular cruise on the 16th. We have it complimentary, but we do have it on other cruises. So if you're not necessarily coming on this one, there are other opportunities. I know people also like the French cruise with the Monet Gardens. If you're into all the flowers, it's another beautiful cruise, and they probably do have a complimentary pre or post land package. So yeah. So go ahead, Erlang, because this is all by June 30, right? All the promotions will end, also with the Air Plus.
Correct. Yeah. So this original promotion here, a great success. I mean, it was supposed to sunset now on March 31st. We have extended this to June 30th. So of course, we want to make sure that you're focusing your attention on this amazing trip that Brad and Elia are going to be embarking with you on April 16th. But just know that AMA Waterways has other available opportunities that, again, Elia would be that guiding light for you to help you to lock in for those experiences. And the complimentary land package is a great offer. This, in fact, has a value of about $2,500 per couple for these amazing pre and post components. Elia, very important. You can't double dip on the arrangement, so it has to be one or the other, before or after. And then now we are also complement the Freeland offer with a very aggressive air promotion. Economy air for 24 and 25, $8.99 for the economy. 26, that jumps up to for an additional $99, which is still very attractive. Premium economy at $22.99 and the business class at $42.99. This says to sunset by June 30th, but I do have a crystal ball that this will be potentially extended into the fall months of this year. Of course, can't forget about our solo guests. Again, we're a family business. We love all that travel with us, be groups, couples, but the single guests really do get taken care of when they're on board a ship. They get the great aggressive pricing, but they get to dine with the captains and the officers on board. They get the private parties before or after the actual cruise itself. So we love our single guests. We waive, in fact, a single supplement on all select French balcony ships for the Seine and the Bordeaux region and the northern and southern Burgundy, and then a 20% single supplement applicable for our European and Mekong itineraries. Elia,
unfortunately, they don't apply to the Tulip Time cruises. It's just because the Tulip Time is so popular, and that's why it's so important that we would really have to get all the bookings done, I would say within the next 2 weeks, because I've already seen some of the availabilities are already gone, so we don't have all the rooms available already anymore. So it's very important. They're so popular. So AMA Waterways doesn't need to do promotions there. The tulips sell themselves, of course.
I agree. And of course, partners like you, what better way to make it happen than you telling that story? But like Ilya said, it's capacity controlled. So the current booking trend you're seeing for AMA is about 12 to 16 months in advance to really capitalize on the great staterooms on board and the aggressive pricing. But again, she's going to be your guiding light. Ilya will be when it comes to promotions and the accommodations. Ilya, we talked about this before. It'd be remiss if I don't mention our mutual partnership with Travel Leaders. There is an extensive list for our 24 and 25 dates where you can, in fact, offer your clients an additional $300 to offset their cost on board the ship. And you might say, Herlin, well, you told me everything's inclusive with the price points. The prepaid gratuities are still not built in yet. We hope that by next year that will be included in the price points. But right now, they are an extra cost. Shopping in the onboard boutique and also the spa treatment. But again, with this $300 of a shipboard credit, that's a great way to offset the cost. And I know with your group, Ilya, you have an exclusive arrangement where we're extending the additional $500 off through June 30th as well. That's only something that you guys have because I'm aware that the current market is only offering $250 per person. So you get $500 off per person by booking with Ilya. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes. And we have it all on our website, which it's voyagebluetravel.com and then AMA Waterways-2025. And all the staterooms are on there, of course. Oh, look at this pretty. I think this is the Kinderdijk again. Yeah, with the 18 different windmills. Very pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to get a nice optic of the sunset in this region.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it. I did it thinking of you, Ilya. Making sure we had the nice optic from the days, from the evenings, and to the sunset, though.
It's
But again,
gorgeous.
that in a nutshell is a presentation. We definitely appreciate you guys all taking the time to be with us here. With the live session. For those watching us on the recording, we look forward to having you on board our ships very, very soon. If not in the April 16th departure, which I encourage you guys definitely to take advantage of there with Ilya's special pricing and her personal concierge experience that she's going to bring to the table with her and her husband. Definitely other opportunities that we have, like I shared on the map of AMA Waterways, where you guys can really take it to the next level and immerse in mixed experience. But again, we are the heart of the river, but we wouldn't be where we're at without our support of Ilya and, of course, the love from the community. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to visit you guys here virtually, and hopefully we'll be welcoming you in person one day on board very, very soon.
Thank you, Erlan, and thank you, everybody. And I hope to see you in the Netherlands. It might next year, 2025, it might not happen in 2026. So that's another one, take advantage of us going now. We're not going every year, but it is definitely fun when you travel with us speaking the language. We have encounters. It's so different if you speak the language, and we get to practice how to pronounce all the different ports. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you all in the Netherlands. Tot ziens!
Good to see you. Thank you.